The 19th of November 2019, when that surge happened in China, Jupiter was exactly conjunct the galactic center.
All right, so if you will humor me and explain to me what Jupiter and the galactic center, what that would mean in astrology terms.
Well, Jupiter rules Sagittarius, so it's in its sign of rulership. And between 26 and 27 degrees of Sagittarius is where we have the galactic center, the galactic core, if you like. And Jupiter was exactly at that point on the 19th of November 2019.
Now, Jupiter does this every 12 years, but the galactic center is like a portal for us to align to much higher cosmic consciousness. And when Jupiter comes to this point, that can help to align us, to connect us to that much higher level of cosmic consciousness.
So it's expanding whatever is coming out of that galactic center. And the galactic center really releases for us powerful cosmic radiation with which we create our world. It's kind of spewing out plasma with which we create our world. So Jupiter is linked to higher consciousness, expansion, magnification.
So it's a brilliant opportunity to do that. When we have this opportunity by transit, we can really start to access parts of ourselves that we haven't been able to before, because galactic center energy is very connected to the root chakra, to Kundalini energy. So this is an excellent time over those few days to find an opportunity to meditate, especially if you're sitting on the earth, connect to the earth. Do strong breath work, that's a great way to get Kundalini energy moving, or obviously do Kundalini yoga as well. All ways to really connect into that shift in consciousness that Kundalini energy can give us. But it can really open up our perspective, and the information can come through from the galactic center incredibly fast, sort of fractal bundles in less than a second. So be sure you can kind of register them and record them in some way, and then just watch in the coming days and weeks what kind of shift of perspective, energy and understanding that has given you.
So that's a very powerful signature for a kind of upgrade, if you like, an upstep in the level of the plasma coming out of the galactic center, and also how humanity are going to use it to raise their consciousness.
Wow. See, this is what I love, because I remember trying to find some information astrologically about why is that date so significant, and I couldn't find anything. Everything after that first event, big things happened, like COVID happened following that February, March, April. That exploded.
I think the energy will be very different next year to how it's been in the last 2 years, 2020, 2022, and I'll get into that a little bit later. So, if I look at the chart for the Capricorn solstice, the sun, it's just entering Capricorn, is also, remember, conjunct the galactic center, which the full moon in Gemini is on the 19th as well. So looking at the Gemini full moon on the 18th or 19th of December, full moons happen when the sun and moon are exactly opposite each other. This is happening in Gemini, the moon is in Gemini, and the sun at 27 of Sagittarius is exactly by degree conjunct the galactic center. That is right on the galactic center, another very powerful point in our cosmos. The sun is conjunct the galactic center exactly, and the moon is opposing it. This suggests that December is an incredibly important time for our Earth. So when planets align to the galactic center, we are able to access more galactic information, more higher consciousness information. We are more easily able to tap in to what the galactic center is about. Well, what it does is bring energy from further galaxies to enable us to access it. So we're at this time around the full moon, we can more easily access galactic information, higher consciousness information. And of course, that's always the case at a solstice or equinox as well. So this is kind of setting us up for the Capricorn solstice. This is helping us step out from our very contracted 3D selves, where we've been kind of locked down for much of the last 2 years into something massively expansive, into our galactic citizenry, into becoming multidimensional selves, stepping way beyond that 3D contraction. So it's very exciting. It's also very initiatory energy, because the galactic center kind of spews out a huge amount of cosmic energy with which we make our world. From that invisible cosmic energy, we create our world.
And this is a paradigm-shattering time for humanity. We have Neptune in a long-term square to the galactic center. Neptune exactly squaring the galactic center, 27 of Sagittarius. It's going to be doing that until 2026, but very strongly through this year and next. And this is really emphasizing also, which Saturn and Pisces is doing, emphasizing this increased psychic sensitivity, the shifting of density to light body, the downloads, the telepathy, the increased healing ability, the tuning into the galactic, the stepping back into our galactic citizenry. You know, we are becoming crystalline. We're becoming light bodies in a bigger and bigger way. And this square is beautiful for the dissolving of density. It really is, and tuning into those higher realms. And Neptune is also about unconditional love. It's about source, it's about healing. This is really helping us to see things from a higher point of view, a more spiritual point of view, seeing them from, your eagle's perch, as it were. And that's going to be specifically highlighted at the end of this month, November, by the full moon in Gemini.
Now, on the 19th, this new moon in Sagittarius will be exact, very late in the day over the Americas, but it will be very early morning in the UK and for Europe, etc., and to the east. So depending on where you live, it's the 19th or the 20th. Of course, every year we have a new moon in Sagittarius, of course we do. But this is particularly potent because the sun and moon, which are always conjuncted a new moon, are conjunct the galactic center. They're conjunct the galactic center. The galactic center is at 27 degrees of Sagittarius. This is spookily enough, the center of our galaxy, from which enormous amount of energy comes forth, with which we create our world. And this time around, the new moon is pretty much right on that galactic center. So this makes this new moon much more potent. And please understand what I'm saying here is, we're not going to leap in January to being fully galactic beings. I'm not saying this at all. This is just the very, 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 very beginning of this accelerated, concentrated period of evolution for humanity that spans 2025 to 2027, as I said repeatedly. Again, I will put my video, The Big Picture, below, so you can see I made that many months ago, and The Metamorphosis for Humanity, which I made 14 months ago, where I was really talking about 25, 26, 27. 2025 has been the year of endings. It's a 9-year in numerology. As we move into 2026, add 2 and 2 and 6 gives 10. Numerologists call that a 1. It's a year of new beginnings, and I absolutely think that is true for all kinds of astrological reasons. And so there's a sense of uptick in the energy, excited uptick. Sagittarius is a wonderful, let's go do it kind of energy. It's spontaneous, it's restless, it just wants to move on to the next adventure in a very, very powerful and optimistic way. It's beautiful. So don't think, think what you like. You may think I'm a complete crazy lady. Many people have, but just really try and reframe your life to welcome in these new energies, so you're not still stuck in the patterns of, particularly I'd say, the last 5-6 years, which have been so dense. So this conjunction of the sun and moon to the galactic center, I do think brings in more galactic news, connection. Of course, 3i Atlas is big galactic news, isn't it? But also our greater sense of multidimensionality as well. We have mutual reception, what is called mutual reception, between the moon in Sagittarius and Jupiter in Cancer, because Jupiter is in the moon sign and the moon is in Jupiter's sign. So it acts like a conjunction. So what this is really, so you can read it as a conjunction. So typically Jupiter in Cancer would be about feeling, kind of expansive, loving energy with your biological family, Cancer. But the moon in Sagittarius is suggesting a much expanded view of family, a galactic family, a cosmic family. That's how I would read that mutual reception. Jupiter is going beyond the biological family. Now, other things that are really worth highlighting here as Uranus: freedom, future, authenticity, unique essence, revolution, truth, awakening, and that is in an exact quincunx by degree to the new moon. 28 of Taurus, 28 of Sagittarius. So it's bringing in these very strong themes, and I actually do believe there's going to be a significant wave of awakening and consciousness uplift at the time of this new moon in Sagittarius, and that's including the Capricorn solstice as well. And so this Capricorn solstice is really happening just 37 hours after that new moon in Sagittarius. If you're in the Americas, on the 19th, or very early morning, 1:44 in the UK, 2:44 Western Europe, and onwards to the east. And of course, we also have the closest flyby of 3i Atlas to the Earth on the 19th. And remember that new moon in Sagittarius is also on the world axis, because 28 of the mutables to 2 degrees of the cardinals, hovering around that 2 degrees either way of 0 of the cardinals, is known as the world axis. So this is, although of course we have a Capricorn solstice every single year, this is by no means a regular Capricorn solstice. I think if you've been listening to me and many other people this year, you'll have become very clear that we're at the end of a 12,000 year cycle. We're moving through the galactic current sheet that only happens every 12,000 years, give or take 500. We're at the end of a 12,000 year descending cycle in the Yuga cycles. We're at the end of Kali Yuga, which began to happen March, the Aries equinox this year. We are at the end of the Kali Yuga, the age of darkness itself, and we're starting to gradually climb back up into the ascending cycle. So it's a tipping point in that way. But really the 19th, 20th, 21st, super powerful days, really would suggest that you take some time out just to be in stillness, to do whatever feels appropriate for you. Whether it's being in nature, whether it's meditating, doing breath work, candle gazing, whatever feels right, having a ceremony, just dropping into gratitude, dropping into stillness, whatever feels appropriate. But try and do more of whatever you choose over those 3 days to welcome in these new energies. How do we ground it? How do we make it manifest? Capricorn is one of the strongest signs of how do we make it manifest. It's about the long-term pragmatic building of our dream. This is how do we make real the dream? I talked about that becoming exact on the 20th of February. That's just the very beginning point. Note that all I'm talking about here is the very beginning point of this tipping point, of the very beginning of this new consciousness. We are not going to hit utopia in January. We are absolutely not. But it's the very beginning of the beginning of this new consciousness that is going to start to change a lot of things. So we are in an extraordinary time of what appears to be a tipping point of consciousness.